What's up, everybody? KleverKrok back for Week 1 recap of Season 6 in the GTA. And I think it was only a couple days ago that we did the power rankings, so we're definitely going to see how wrong some of us were. Cuff me! About some of these teams and how they perform and how some others underperform. So, with all that being said, I've got coach of the Richmond Raikous, aka Jasperious, with us today.
Hello, friends.
Hello. Alright, so first we're just going to jump right into this and look at the Maple Grove Gengars versus the Scottish Septiles. So, any kind of first thoughts that you have?
I mean, my first thought, I look at the Septiles team, and I'm like, why in the world did they not bring Caesar? The only fire that the Gengars had on their entire team was Salazzle. And you can easily counter Salazzle with half your team. I mean, Piloswine, if I recall correctly, Piloswine gets thick fat, correct?
Yes.
An Earthquake from Piloswine, even if it didn't have the 4x weakness, will still knock out Salazzle. I think there should have been no reason Caesar should not have been on this team.
Yeah.
Other than that, I feel like Salazzle probably should have been brought for the Gengars, but
yeah. Yeah. I
yeah,
definitely
you
agree
live
with
and
you
you
there.
learn.
But I guess I would also add I did write down why no Caesar. But I also was confused as to why Piloswine was brought when two other ice types were brought. I get Hail team, but Piloswine doesn't really benefit too much from that, and it doesn't really have an advantage on any of the Pokemon that were brought or could have been brought or expected to be brought. Um, and Mega Sharpedo, I just felt like even even with Vaporeon, even if it was defensive, which it wasn't going to be, or maybe it was, I don't know. My point is, Mega Sharpedo wrecks his team. He destroys Salazzle, which is the only thing he had to worry about for Caesar, and so I was really confused as to why he didn't bring Caesar and Mega Sharpedo. And he still could have brought Alolan Sandslash expecting something like Obama Snow and using that as a counter for it if he really wanted to.
Yeah,
So I get why he brought that, but he didn't need to bring the Hail starter in Ninetales, and I felt like that was
yeah.
a wasted slot.
I think he probably should have brought Miltank instead of that Ninetales, if I'm honest with you, because Miltank also gets thick fat.
That's true, and it would have had a better handling against Salazzle as far as bulk goes too. Um, let's see. So yeah, I like some of the stuff going on with the Gengar's team. I think the bulk between Abomasnow and Vaporeon is actually a solid, wall core, especially in this match. Um, they cover each other pretty well as far as their weaknesses go. So I thought that was pretty cool because you never see Abomasnow like part of the
Yeah,
defensive core, but it works here and it works pretty well. So I guess we'll go ahead and start. And the first thing that I wanted to go ahead and say that I noticed was turn 1 and turn 2 were really good for the Gengars. They got their rocks up.
yeah,
The weakness policy setup was really cool. And then being able to bring down the Azelf to its sash using Sucker Punch, which I actually did not know Golem got. So kudos there for bringing a cool setup, even if he did sacrifice it. It was a good use of him, I think.
yeah. I thought I got that wrote down as well. I thought it was a really nice play going for the sucker punch, even if it might not have been totally intended for that purpose, but it definitely worked out in that situation. If Azelf would not have been Sash, that would have just been a dead Pokemon.
Oh
It's
yeah,
practically dead right now, but it definitely would have been dead then.
right. Yeah, that would have been crazy because then that means he gets a free switch in on whatever does take out Golem, which is pretty cool. So definitely a good prep there. One thing I noticed, you'll see this a few times throughout the match, is that the Gengars constantly use Curse once and then switch out, and it ultimately doesn't hurt him all that much. But I thought that was pretty strange considering he just kind of took like toxic damage and then switched out and kind of burned a turn. It ended up working out for his stall strategy, but I just thought that was a little strange because it wasn't an advantage to him or anything.
Yeah, I feel that as well. I feel like this is a huge misplay right here, though. Having the Haxorus switch in on a Thunderbolt, you don't want Haxorus to switch in.
Yeah.
You could have switched in literally any other Pokemon, and it would have been a better switch in.
Yeah.
I can see it did work out for him because of that poison jab into Abomasnow, but I don't feel like that was worth it.
No,
I do. The whole Snorlax curse thing and then switching out. I didn't really like it. It wasn't the greatest. I did like the recycle though.
Yeah,
which I think he uses
cool.
in a couple of turns.
I don't know
really,
if you noticed this, but did you notice that there were 4 ice types in this match and no one brought freeze dry? I was so confused by that because we had 2 bulky waters that would have hated that and nobody brought it. I was so confused. I mean, that would have worked perfectly. Like Ninetales at the end, you'll see, was going up against Vaporeon, and Freeze Dry might have made the difference, but not having that on either team was a little odd to me, I thought.
Yeah, I feel that as well. I feel like the Gengars didn't really have anything to beat Jellicent, though. I mean, you had to send out the Glalie, you had to double edge an Earthquake, and then sacrifice your Pokemon.
Yeah.
To kill the Jellicent.
Again,
and I don't feel like yeah, freeze dry would have done wonders.
Yeah. And he's lucky he didn't get skull burned.
Yeah, if he got skull burned, that explosion would have done nothing.
Yep.
But I mean, it ended up working out for him. It was just kind of a string of lucky plays. He definitely had his lucky egg on if you play Pokemon Go.
Yeah. Yeah. Pun completely intended. Another thing I noticed is this is the week of bulky waters. First, I'm gonna say, but
yeah,
Vaporeon just walls everything, and that of course makes sense when you look at the fact that the Sceptiles brought 3 ice types and Jellicent, and they didn't preserve Tapu Koko at all.
Yeah, Tapu Koko was definitely the win condition in getting rid of Vaporeon without freeze dry.
And he should have brought like Volt Switch and just spammed that after Golem went down turn 2. He was free reign to be able to spam that as a pivot a lot. And so between him and Azelf, if he had them going, that could be dangerous, especially with their speed.
I think this play right here, we see a switch from Vaporeon into Haxorus. Haxorus did not have to die in this situation.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
He could have easily came out of this game 3-up, but just that one play, there was no reason for Haxorus to go down.
Yeah, I mean, he could have just stalled with Vaporeon the rest of the match pretty much, and he would have been fine. He had it once Tapu Koko went down, Vaporeon was going to be able to stall this match. And that's pretty much what happens here over the next 10 turns. I think this is the longest match of the week, which arguably is not that long, but...
Yeah, we've had much longer matches. I can remember the 82 turn match that I had way back in like season 2 or something like that.
Season 2 or 3, yeah. But yeah, basically Vaporeon does a really good job of walling the rest of his team because there's no freeze dry and nothing really for Vaporeon to worry about, honestly. So I was surprised there wasn't even a Dazzling Gleam or something from the Ninetales, just Blizzard. So that's pretty much where it ends here. So any final thoughts as this match closes up?
I just think that Vaporeon was used really well.
That's
true.
I
think you couldn't have picked a better way to run that Vaporeon.
Yeah,
that's how I tend to run.
Team.
Yeah, that's how I tend to run most of my evolutions, aside from Jolteon and even then, I've run Jolteon, Wish, Heal Bell, Protect before.
What about
So
Espeon?
I think that Espeon, Espeon, I don't think I would do that
Or
with,
Flareon. Or
but
Leafeon. I'm just kidding. I know what you mean, though.
because I mean, I do it with Umbreon. I've done it with Jolteon. I think the evolutions are phenomenal walls, the majority of them.
Yeah. No, I
Aside from
agree. Even
Flareon.
even Leafeon is a pretty good physical wall. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and go on to the next match, which is between the Richmond Raikous and the Lex Luchas, formerly known as the Wiltshire Wobbuffets. And this match was really close, as you'll see. The first thing I noticed is that Mega Sceptile has a really good setup here to blow this team to smithereens aside from Celesteela. So the win condition is to keep Sceptile alive. And I probably would have brought something, I don't know if he gets U-turn or some sort of bug move or even HP bug for Celebi. And then Arcanine, obviously for Celesteela, or Raikou. But I think Arcanine's a little bit better of a way to handle it, especially since it's run bulky in this match. Any other observations before we start this match?
I'm all about trying to see what matchups I could have done to do better. This is my team. If I would do this again, I would switch out Umbreon for Empoleon. I feel like the Empoleon would have been a much better matchup in this situation for the amount of ice moves that the Lex Luchas brought, because
Yeah,
they
true.
brought. He mentions later on in the wall of text that he brought 4 Pokemon with ice moves.
I think, yeah, it's like
And
3 Pokemon with
I was
HP and
like,
Ice and one person with, like, something else.
it's crazy. So if I could get, yeah, I fully believe that if uh, Empoleon was brought instead of Umbreon, this game would have been much more in my favor.
Especially since the only thing Empoleon has to worry about is Gastrodon, and you have Sceptile for that, so... I mean, Emolga, I guess, too, but... How fast is Emolga, by the way? I was wondering that when I first saw this match. And I was trying to
I
figure out...
don't think as fast as Sceptile.
Oh, I doubt it. Base Sceptile, even. I think it might be, like, 115 or 120 speed. And...
103.
Oh, okay, so not even that fast. So base Sceptile,
Yeah,
were you
base
running it
Sceptile is
Modest?
120. No, I was running it Jolly, actually, because I brought
Jolly, because
physical
you're
Sceptile.
physical. Yeah. Yeah, okay. That's what I was wondering. Alright, we'll go ahead and start the match. Definitely another thing that I observed was just the amount of bulk on the Lex Luchas team. Turn 1 HP Ice. Nice.
Yeah,
Always
that was
fun.
a rough turn 1.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's good too. I don't know. I think Emolga gets static. If it did, you're
It
lucky you
does.
didn't get
It does.
paralyzed. 'Cause I didn't think about that when I first watched this, but
You mean to tell me my ground type can get paralyzed?
yep.
Oof.
Yeah, it can get paralyzed from stun spore or static.
Oof. I knew
Yeah.
from Sunspore, I didn't know from Static.
Yep. One thing I really liked in this match was your use of Umbreon's synchronize ability to punish his toxic spam and
Yeah.
poison like his whole team. That was hilarious, and it was really well done. Let's see. I did
There's
think that
honestly not
Arcanine... Oh, go ahead.
there's honestly not much I would have done differently to play this game. I probably would have kept using my Morning Sun on Arcanine, kept using Roost on Gliscor. Just minor healing things, keeping my Pokemon up better. Because I could have stalled the Gastrodon out for quite a bit with the Life Orb plus the Burn if I would just kept using Morning Sun.
You think Earth Power would have done any more? I didn't see him use it against your Arcanine, but I wondered that.
I don't think so. Let me see.
Because if it didn't, I was like, man, if his Arcanine had more health, that would have made a big difference in this match.
Yeah, Earth Power would have done a little bit more.
Okay.
but it wouldn't have done more to the point that I still couldn't have stalled him down to that point.
Right. Okay. Yeah, you didn't really have a good switch in for Gastrodon. Even with Empoleon, it still has its problems with it. Let's see. Oh, so I think it's not happened yet. Well, I won't spoil it. So the last thing I notice is something that we'll see, I think, here in a minute.
I think right there, I probably was faster than Celesteela, but I didn't want to risk it. Because if I was faster than it, I'm pretty sure I was. And if I was faster, then I could have got a Morning Sun off and healed back up, and then I would have just kept, Morning Sunning forever.
Right.
Right here, it
Physical.
would have been,
Yeah,
yeah.
physical Sceptile actually was really good this time. It's unfortunate you took so much damage there, but you ended up kind of sweeping with this thing, which I was surprised about how much damage it was doing.
Well,
Let's.
really, I probably should have just brought normal Sceptile because Thunder Punch did nothing. I think an HP Electric would have done much more in that
That's
situation.
possible. It's definitely
But
something he didn't expect though, and he probably brought specially defensive Celesteela. No, no, that's not true because Beast Boost increases defense.
yeah, Beast Boost increased the defense.
So it was definitely defensive. It was definitely something that really was unexpected though, so props for that.
Right here, if you
Yeah,
pause it right here, pause it for me, please.
yeah, yeah.
Right there was the moment this match turned from being in my favor to being in the Lex Luchas' favor. If I would have just Volt switched instead of going for a cheeky play with HP Grass, I would have won that game.
Right, because if you Volt switched and switched into like Umbreon, and then you could just stall it out because of the poison, because you also had Heal Bell on it, right?
Yeah,
Right. So yeah, you ended up stalling it out actually. Um, so yeah, if you went for Volt Switch, that definitely would have preserved it to where you probably could have taken an Earth Power like you do at the end. The
yeah,
Calm
because
Mind
I
was
ran that.
scary.
Calm Mind was scary. I was really worried about that. I got lucky with the crit at the end, or else he probably would have won two, with two up.
Yeah.
But I ran the calcs before we started this. You've got a black screen on there.
Yep.
There you go. If I would have just Volt switched out, the max that the Earth Power was doing would have been max like 67, and I had 83% health before I got Pain Split down. So I would have uh, two of the extra sensories would have killed the Gastrodon, and I would have won that 1-0. But you live and you learn. I know for
Yeah.
next time. That crit was very helpful. I don't think I would have survived otherwise.
Yeah, right here
And
you
yeah,
probably could have taken what, maybe 70%, and if you did, like you would have, yep. Yep, that was a really close match, and it was a really good one too. You guys both brought some really cool stuff. HP Ice and Calm Mind on his side, and Physical Sceptile on yours. And then that Synchronize again, that worked out really well for you. So I guess we'll go ahead and go on to the next match. Uh, so this one is between the Kentucky Krookodiles and the AA Rons, and this match was rough. It ended up being a really good match. And the hard part with playing against people who are new to the league is that you don't know how they play yet at all. And there were a few times where you'll see in this match where I make plays that might be a little too obvious, because I was trying to field, okay, is he someone who's going to double switch? Is he going to account for my predictions in making his moves, or is he going to just go straight for the moves that he wants to? And so I was trying to figure him out as I was playing, and I think that somewhat cost me the game. as we'll see here. But I like my team and my matchup against him. Dugtrio is awesome for his team. He's good against everything except Tangrowth, and then I have Houndoom for Tangrowth. So I felt like I had a really solid setup. I mean, Tentacruel is also great for Tangrowth. And then just for insurance, I have Tyrantrum with, as you'll see, a Choice Scarf. So I felt like I had a really good matchup for this team. And some stuff happened, but he also played really well. And as you'll see, I think I don't really have a whole lot more to say. I guess Tyranitar was a really good mon against my team as this.
Yeah, let me ask you this one real quick. Did you have any fighting type moves on your Pokemon?
I did have, let's see, I had Brick Break on Granbull. No, I did not bring it. I decided to bring Play Rough on Granbull because it was
because I feel like.
But I brought Brick Break on Tyrantrum.
I feel like having Machamp in the situation would have done you a little bit more good. His only counter to Machamp was the Metagross, and you could Fire Punch that and do some massive damage against it.
Right. Yeah, I thought about that. I wasn't sure if I was going to outspeed it or not. And looking back, I was like, yeah, Mach Punch would have been perfect for, Iron Fist Mach Punch for the Tyranitar would have been great. And then just, having priority in general would have been good. So, yep, I definitely... I brought Tyrantrum, I think, as a hard counter to Charizard because he brought, in our practice matches, he brought Focus Blast against me, and that actually was a good counter to my Houndoom. And so I knew Houndoom wasn't going to be a good enough counter on its own. So that's kind of what my thinking was about it, but you're right. Machamp would have been great here. And that ended up actually costing me the game, was not having something for Tyranitar. Any other thoughts before we get started with this match?
No, other than it was just a really clean game overall.
All right, well, we'll get started. So the first thing off the bat, of course, I decided to start with Dugtrio to see if I could trap something. I figured a 5 out of 6 chance of killing something was a pretty good chance. This was really bad for me. I should have just gone for another Rock Slide, but I wanted to play safe and get the rocks up because I knew it might help in the long run. But losing Dugtrio on turn 2 and missing that Rock Slide that would have taken out Charizard Y, that was crucial in this game, and that really stunk for me. But regardless, I was able to take Tangrowth out quickly, which was nice because that was probably the thing I was most worried about. And that had to have been Banded Metagross, because I was really surprised that it was going to one-shot me. I was expecting a nice punch, but not a one-shot. So, let's see. Focus Punch Zard, that was funny. He meant to bring Focus Blast, as you might have seen in the chat. Let's see. So turn 11 here in a sec. This was a really good prediction on his part, doing the Iron Head, expecting me to come in like that. Even if it only did, 33%, that was still a good play on his part, so I wanted to point it out. And then Defog here, his only defogger, as I mentioned in the power rankings, is Zard Y, but it worked for him. So that was good. I really thought that he was going to bring Scarf or Specs Circuitry, and so I was concerned that that I needed to use Knockoff to get rid of his item, and that ended up not being a problem. I think you're muted, by the way, Chase. I don't know if that's intentional. Just thought I'd let you know. Other than that, after I kind of got to this point, I realized I couldn't do anything because of Tyranitar still. I just didn't have anything. I thought about bringing HP Fighting or something, or HP Rock on Houndoom, but I did not end up doing that. and I ended up hoping to get a flinch here. Had I gotten the flinch, I would have won because Flamethrower would have taken out Metagross, and any attack would have taken out Charizard Y. And so, since I needed one more turn in order to do the damage for Poison to take him out, I ran just short of being able to sweep the rest of his team, and he was able to wall me long enough to beat me. So it was a really good match, in my opinion. But
All right, it picked the absolute worst time in the world to update.
I know, right? That's okay. For those watching, I have edited out the awkward pause. So the match, basically, I was saying how I needed one more turn, and the 20% flinch was the key to winning for me at this point, because Tyranitar had just enough health not to get taken out, and I thought about bringing HP Rock or HP Fighting on Houndoom, and that probably would have done the trick, and then I would have swept the last two because Charizard was in the red, and Metagross wouldn't have lived a Dark Pulse. So I know that it was really close despite it being a 3-0, but he played it well, and Tyranitar did it for him in the end.
Yeah, I will say that the Focus Punch does not equal Focus Blast in this situation. It worked well. It worked well for him, but it was a complete accident that it happened.
I know. It was hilarious.
Losing Zapdos in one hit was really rough. I assume that if you lost in one hit, you weren't running it bulky.
I wasn't, but I was also not expecting it to be banded, and I'm not saying it is because I have no confirmation, but I had some HP investment in it, and so I was kind of thinking that it had to have been choice banded.
Yeah, because it just flapped you.
It did. I was like so surprised because I think I went for Volt Switch that turn or something. I don't remember what I did, but oh no, I switched him in and he took me out.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Yeah, I was gonna go for Volt Switch and then go into like Grand Bull or something. I don't know, but I also had static on it, so I was kind of hoping it would hit me and then do a fair amount, and then I'd paralyze it or something. But anyways, it was a really good match. Now I know what to look out for from the Aarons. I know his playstyle a little bit better, and I know what to and what to not bring next time we face each other, whenever that is. Let's see. So I guess we'll go on to the last match, which is between Felidae and the Scottish Sylveons. So, any kind of first impressions based on the team preview?
I really like both their comps. I think they work well together. Really, the one thing that I could say was I kind of feel like a low on Raichu was necessary here. And not that I don't like Tapu Lele. I think Tapu Lele is a phenomenal pick, but I think that a low on Raichu would have been more useful in this situation than Tapu Lele, which is very surprising because Tapu Lele is one of the best Pokemon that's not been banned.
Right. I think Bronzong is such a hard counter to Tapu Lele, especially when it's not choice specs. And you can't just spam Shadow Ball because of Pidgeot. So, good team comp on the Sylveon's end and some hard hitters on the Felidae's end. Yeah, I mean, overall, the both teams look decent. I'm not a big fan of Palisand, but it's good for the, I guess, the rapid spin protection and having something that's a ground type. But I think in the case here where the electric type that the Sylveons have is also a water type, I don't think Palisand fits very well into this team. I don't think
and also
it really
has
much of an advantage against any of his Pokemon. So let's see. That's about it from the preview. So we'll go ahead and start the match. So starting out, I'm not sure. I guess he was gonna set rocks turn one. Taking that kind of damage. First of all, Blacephalon just has garbage defense, and taking
Base
that kind of damage early on was bad.
Yeah, it took some monster damage from that drop kick, but I'll tell you what, I did the calc, and even defensive Palisade would have taken more from that.
That's
I'll be honest, I think that Venusaur should have been switched in to
yeah.
the
I'm not sure why he
arena.
didn't use Venusaur as a wall as much as he could have. Letting Dragonite take that kind of damage was also a big problem for me. Um, so two things. I'm gonna pause it real quick. So the first thing
Hmm.
was on turn 3, he switched in Palossand on Milotic, which is it doesn't make sense to me. Even without water absorption, that's not going to help you against Milotic. You're going to be slower in every scenario than Milotic, and so you're pretty much wasting him for something that you'll see later. Um, the Serena, I think he just didn't know what was in her kit because I don't think he was expecting play rough coming from Serena, and Serena did some work in this match, and it was awesome
Yeah, Serena
because
did really good.
Serena was great. Anyways, so I guess we'll keep going. Also, another prep issue. He said he thought he had Ice Punch, but he had Ice Beam instead on Dragonite. So that stinks.
This
Um,
team still would have done damage.
well, I think he used Dragon was gonna be a Dragon Dance sweeper, but yeah, it didn't end up
Yeah.
mattering too much in the end. But yeah, here, so he got really confused because he brought Absorb Bulb as an item, and it increases your special attack if you're hit by a water move. Which, in the case of Palisand, like I get that you have water absorption and this, and like then you could be kind of bulky, but you take so much damage that pretty much anything would take you out next turn. And I think he kind of thought that it would absorb it, as in not do damage, and give him that special attack boost. Um, but that's not the case, and that ended up making him lose another Pokemon because of it.
Who used the rain dance? Was it the Blastoise?
Yeah,
Okay, because I think that really caused the Palisand to go down. If the Palisand was fully specially defensive, I don't think the Milotic could have taken it down in one hit, but that boost from the rain probably would have done him in.
right. That's true. Um, Tapu Lele getting wrecked the way it did, I definitely would have brought it Choice Scarf, especially with, you know, Mega
Pause that for
Pidgeot
me.
outspeeding.
Can you go back? Can you go back a couple turns
Sure,
to the
sure.
Blacephalon and the Milotic? One more turn. Maybe turn 20.
I think he goes into him next. Okay, so you're saying here.
Yeah. So he
Okay.
switches in Melodic right here. I think I think that Melodic was low enough that you could have Shadow Balled it and then Shadow Balled it again, and you would have killed that Melodic.
Especially since he went for Recover. Not that he
Yeah.
knew he was going to go for that, but if he was going to go for Recover, that Toxic Stall was going to catch up on him to where he at least would have traded with him.
Yeah, I
Problem
think that could
is...
have
Oh, go ahead.
that probably could have won in the game if he just got rid of that Melodic right then.
I'm not sure what the speed stat is on Blacephalon, but he really needed to
Oh, it's
have...
something stupid.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but I don't know if it
107.
outspeeds Mega Pidgey. Yeah, that doesn't outspeed Mega Pidgeot.
It doesn't. No, no.
So my concern is he didn't have anything to handle Mega Pidgeot properly on his team, other than maybe Extreme Speed or Dragon Dance boosted Dragonite. I really would have brought Scarf on one of my Pokemon to handle that, because Venusaur pretty much wins this match if Pidgeot is down. Once Pidgeot is down, he walls the rest of his team easy. And so he definitely could have just stalled this game out and won it that way between Leech Seed, Giga Drain, and Sludge Bomb. If he had brought Scarf Lele or Scarf Blacephalon even, or just whatever, something that could outspeed consistently Mega Pidgeot.
Yeah.
So, but Milotic, as we've seen many times before, stalled out his team, stalled out. It's just crazy.
Per usual.
Yep, not a surprise to me. So, any final thoughts for week 1?
Definitely some unexpected wins, some unexpected comps. Really nice, really creative. I love what I'm seeing so far. Even if I did lose, I know that I played it all. It's been probably a year since I touched Pokemon, and I couldn't be happier with the way I played. I'm just really excited for next week. Hopefully I get that dub, kind of redeem myself. If not, I'm just looking forward to a really good season. It's a great start to the season.
Yeah, everybody brought their A game. I think everybody played really well, and I'm really excited, especially for the AA runs to start with a win and to really kind of crank things up to 10 already. And we're only in week 1, and so excited to see kind of what everybody does in this next week. So we'll be back next week for week 2. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. If y'all enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave a like, and if you want, subscribe for more videos. Hope to see y'all in the future, and thank you for watching.